Welcome back to another episode in our commentary series on the writings of Ajmal from his website, theborderofamind.com. For those who haven't caught our previous episodes, you're missing out. I highly recommend checking them out.
Yeah.
Ajmal's work always gets you thinking.
I agree. His perspective is incredibly refreshing.
Today we're focusing on one of his blog posts that really resonated with me.
Okay.
It's about the importance of valuing the present moment.
Yeah.
This is a topic that's often discussed, but Ajmal brings a unique perspective to it.
Right. And what struck me is how he uses these vivid descriptions, walking through the bustling streets of Dubai and his hometown, even flying at 30,000 feet.
Wow.
He uses these moments to ground us in the idea that life is happening right now.
Right.
It's not just an abstract concept.
It's like he's reminding us that the present is a tangible experience, not just something we intellectually understand.
Yeah.
I found myself thinking about times I've been so caught up in planning or reminiscing that I've missed what was right in front of me.
And that's exactly what Ajmal warns us about, isn't it?
Yeah.
He talks about how clinging to the past, whether it's filled with happy memories or regrets, can actually prevent us from fully experiencing the present.
And the same goes for constantly yearning for the future.
Right.
Like we're always living somewhere else but never here.
What's interesting is that Ajmal isn't saying we should ignore the past or disregard the future. It's more about finding that balance, acknowledging our journey and aspirations, without letting them overshadow the now.
Okay, so how do we strike that balance? Ajmal's idea of balance, is it something more specific than just trying to be mindful?
He actually offers a powerful analogy.
Okay.
He compares the past and future to the banks of a river, while the present is the current that carries us forward.
Okay.
He's acknowledging that the past and future exist, but emphasizes that the present is what's actively moving us through life.
That's a helpful image. So it's about recognizing those past and future elements without letting them dictate our experience of the present moment.
Exactly.
And Ajmal goes beyond just the feel-good aspects of this approach.
Right.
He delves into the psychological benefits too.
Yeah.
Pointing to research showing that people who practice present moment awareness experience less stress. It's like hitting pause on that constant loop of worries.
I can definitely see how that makes sense. When we're fixated on the past or future, we're essentially creating stress for ourselves.
But how does he explain this reduction in stress from a present moment perspective?
Well, he argues that by shifting our focus to the present, we're breaking free from that cycle of worry. He talks about tuning into our senses.
Yeah.
The taste of our food. The feel of the breeze, the sounds around us. By engaging our senses, we become more grounded in the present moment. And those anxieties about the past or future naturally fade into the background.
So it's not just about mental discipline. It's about actively engaging with the world around us through our senses.
Precisely.
He suggests that the more we practice bringing our attention back to our immediate experience, the less power those worries have over us. Like we're training our minds to focus on what is rather than what was or what might be.
Exactly.
That makes me think about his point on deeper connections with others. How does present moment awareness help with that?
He argues that when we're fully present in our interactions, we become better listeners. We're not just hearing the words. But we're also picking up on the nuances, the emotions, the unspoken messages. It's like we're tapping into a deeper level of understanding and empathy.
So it's not just about being present in our own experience, but also being present for the other person.
Absolutely. He emphasizes the importance of putting away distractions, making eye contact, and truly listening when we're interacting with others. It's about giving the other person the gift of our undivided attention.
It's interesting because we often think of mindfulness as a solitary practice. But Ajmal's connecting it to the way we interact with others.
And he takes it a step further, suggesting that this heightened awareness also helps us understand ourselves better. By being present with our own emotions, we can make more thoughtful decisions. Choices that are aligned with our true values and aspirations.
So it's about making choices from a place of clarity and self-awareness. rather than being driven by anxieties or past regrets.
Exactly.
This is making me seriously consider how I can be more present in my daily life.
And Ajmal provides some practical tips to help us do just that.
Okay.
He starts with something incredibly simple yet profound.
Okay.
Taking a few minutes each day for quiet breathing.
It seems almost too basic, but I can see how just taking a few deep breaths can help center us and bring our attention back to the present moment.
He describes it as a mini meditation, a way to hit the reset button for our minds and calm our nervous system.
Okay.
It's like clearing space for that present moment awareness to emerge.
Okay, that's a good starting point.
Yeah.
What other tips does Ajmal offer?
Well, he also suggests engaging in activities that completely absorb us. Things like painting, dancing, or cooking.
It's about finding those activities that allow us to enter that state of flow, where we lose track of time and become completely immersed in the experience.
Yeah.
I find that happens when I'm writing or even just having a good conversation.
Exactly.
It's about finding what works for you.
Yeah.
It could be reading, gardening, listening to music, anything that allows you to disconnect from that constant stream of thoughts and just be. So finding those moments where we can truly lose ourselves in the process.
Yeah.
It sounds so simple, but it's something we often neglect in our busy lives.
And that's where his next tip comes in, and it's a tough one.
Okay.
Limiting distractions.
Oh, I know this is going to be a challenge for me.
Right.
It's like we're constantly bombarded with notifications, emails, and social media updates.
It's a constant battle, but Ajmal reminds us that it's a battle worth fighting. He emphasizes the importance of minimizing those distractions, especially when we're interacting with others.
Yeah.
It's about being fully present, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well.
So it's about making a conscious effort to put the phone down, step away from the computer, and really engage with the people around us.
Precisely. It's about being present, not just in our own experience, but also in our interactions with the world around us.
That makes me think back to his point about deeper connections. It's like those distractions create a barrier between us and the people we're with.
Exactly. And by removing those barriers, we're creating space for more meaningful connections.
Right.
We're allowing ourselves to be fully seen and fully heard. And we're offering that same gift to the other person.
I love how he frames it as a gift. It's a powerful reminder of the impact we have on others simply by being present.
And it all circles back to Ajmal's central theme.
Yeah.
By embracing the present moment, we open ourselves up to the depth and beauty that life has to offer.
It's about shifting our focus from what we're missing to what we have right now. And he doesn't just leave us with these grand ideas.
Right.
He gives us practical tools to help us incorporate this philosophy into our everyday lives.
Yeah.
It's like a call to action. A challenge to step out of autopilot and truly experience the richness of the now.
It's a powerful message and one that I think resonates deeply in today's world.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up this part of our discussion, it's worth highlighting Ajmal's final thought.
Okay.
Life is a series of moments strung together, and the only one we can truly experience is the current one.
Such a simple yet profound statement.
It is.
It's like he's reminding us that life isn't about rushing towards some distant goal, but about savoring each step along the way. But how do we apply that to our lives? It's easy to get caught up in that rush, that constant striving.
Yeah, that's where those practical tips come in. It's about making small intentional choices throughout the day to bring ourselves back to the present. Remember his suggestion about those little reminders?
Oh, right, like setting an alarm or putting a sticky note on the computer.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, sometimes those reminders just annoy me. It feels forced, you know?
I understand. It's not about creating another task on your to-do list. It's more about cultivating a gentle awareness. Ajmal suggests using those reminders not as commands, but as invitations. Little nudges to check in with yourself and see where your attention is.
So instead of, I have to be present right now, it's more like, am I present right now? And if not, can I gently shift my focus?
Exactly. And he emphasizes that this is an ongoing practice. There will be times when we get swept away by thoughts or distraction. That's just part of being human. The key is to notice when it's happening and gently guide our attention back to the present.
It's like we're building a muscle, the muscle of present moment awareness. And the more we exercise it, the stronger it becomes. But speaking of muscles, you mentioned earlier that Ajmal connects present moment awareness to overall well-being. What's the link there?
Well, he points to a growing body of research that shows people who focus on the present tend to experience greater overall well-being. Yeah. It's not just about reducing stress, it's about cultivating a sense of contentment and joy in everyday life.
So it's not just about feeling less bad, it's about feeling more good.
Exactly. Right. And he doesn't just present this as a fluffy feel-good concept.
Right.
He dives into the psychological benefits, explaining that by being more present, we're more in tune with our emotions. And that emotional awareness, in turn, allows us to make more thoughtful decisions.
So it's a domino effect. Present moment awareness leads to greater emotional awareness, which then leads to better decision-making. But how does that translate to a feeling of well-being?
Ajmal argues that when we're more in touch with our emotions, we're better equipped to make choices that are aligned with our values and aspirations. And those choices, in turn, contribute to a sense of purpose and fulfillment.
That makes sense. When we're living in alignment with our values, we naturally feel more content and at peace.
Yeah.
It's like we're creating a life that reflects our truest selves.
Exactly. And it all circles back to the power of the present moment. By cultivating present moment awareness, we're essentially setting the stage for a more fulfilling and meaningful life. It's about recognizing that true happiness isn't something we chase in the future. It's something we cultivate in the present.
That brings us back to those practical tips. It seems like those tips aren't just about being more present in the moment.
Right.
They're actually about creating a more fulfilling life overall.
Absolutely. And one of the tips that really stood out to me was his suggestion to engage in activities that completely absorb us.
You talked about that a little earlier, finding those activities that allow us to enter a state of flow.
Right. And Ajmal argues that these activities aren't just about having fun or escaping from reality.
Okay.
They're actually opportunities to practice present moment awareness.
Because when we're fully engaged in something we enjoy, we naturally become more present.
Exactly. Think about a time when you were completely lost in something you love. Maybe it was painting, playing music, or even just having a deep conversation.
Right.
In those moments, you're not thinking about the past or worrying about the future.
Right.
You're completely absorbed in the experience.
And that's where the magic happens, right?
Yeah.
That feeling of being completely present and connected to the moment. It's like we tap into a different level of awareness and creativity.
And Ajmal suggests that by consciously seeking out these flow experiences, we're essentially training our minds to be more present. We're building that muscle of present moment awareness, which then benefits us in other areas of our lives.
So it's not just about those isolated moments of flow. It's about developing a skill that we can then apply to our daily lives. But what about those times when we can't escape into those flow activities? What about those everyday moments that feel mundane or even stressful?
That's where the other tips come in. Remember his suggestion about minimizing distractions?
Yes, we talked about putting away our phones and making eye contact during conversation.
And Ajmal argues that this practice of minimizing distractions isn't just about being polite or showing respect to the other person. It's actually a powerful tool for cultivating present moment awareness in any situation.
Because by eliminating distractions, we're forcing ourselves to be more present with whatever is happening in that moment.
Exactly. Think about it. When you're scrolling through social media or checking emails, your attention is constantly being pulled in different directions. But when you put those distractions aside, you're creating space for your mind to settle and focus on your immediate experience.
It's like clearing the clutter, both physically and mentally, to create space for that present moment awareness to emerge.
And he suggests that this practice can be applied to any situation, whether you're having a conversation, eating a meal, or even just walking down the street. It's about making a conscious choice to be present with whatever is happening in that moment, without letting your mind get hijacked by distractions.
It's a challenge, for sure. But as Ajmal points out, it's a challenge worth taking on. Because the more we practice minimizing distractions, the more we cultivate that ability to be present and engaged in the moment, no matter what's happening around us.
And that's a powerful skill to have, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
It's like we're taking back control of our attention and choosing where we want to focus our energy.
It's like reclaiming our power in a world that's constantly trying to grab our attention and pull us in a million different directions.
And it all circles back to that core idea of valuing the present moment. By minimizing distractions, we're essentially saying, this moment is important, this experience is worthy of my full attention.
It's a simple shift in perspective, but it can have a profound impact on the way we experience our lives.
And it's a practice that can be cultivated over time.
Right.
Ajmal reminds us that it's not about achieving some perfect state of constant presence.
Okay.
That's not realistic. There will be moments when we fall back into old patterns, when we get caught up in worries or distractions. But the key is to keep coming back to the present moment with a sense of gentleness and curiosity.
It's like we're learning a new language. The language of present moment awareness. And like any language, it takes time and effort to become fluent.
And just like learning a new language, the more we practice, the more natural it becomes.
So it's not about perfection, it's about progress.
Yeah.
It's about making those small intentional choices throughout the day to bring ourselves back to the present moment again and again.
And as we cultivate that habit, we'll find that we're not just experiencing life more fully, but we're also creating a life that is more aligned with our values, our aspirations, and our truest selves.
It's about becoming the authors of our own stories, one present moment at a time.
And what's beautiful is that we don't have to do it alone.
Right.
Ajmal's work serves as a guide, a reminder, and a source of inspiration on this journey.
I think that's one of the things that makes his writing so compelling.
Yeah.
It's not just about conveying information, it's about sparking a transformation.
Absolutely. And it's a transformation that starts with a single step.
Right.
A single breath. A single moment of present moment awareness.
And that brings us back to that question we posed earlier. What small step can you take today to be more present in your own life? It could be as simple as taking a few conscious breaths, putting away your phone during dinner, or engaging in an activity that brings you joy.
Whatever it is, we encourage you to make a conscious effort to cultivate present moment awareness and discover the transformative power it holds.
And remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Start small. Be patient with yourself and celebrate each step along the way. You know, it's fascinating how Ajmal's ideas about valuing the present moment resonate with so many different wisdom traditions. We were talking about the research on well-being, but it's like he's tapping into something much older.
It's true. The concept of mindfulness, being fully present in the now, has been a cornerstone of spiritual and philosophical practices for centuries. They all emphasize finding peace and fulfillment by focusing on what is, rather than dwelling on what was or might be.
It's like Ajmal is giving us a modern take on these timeless truths, making them relevant to our busy, often chaotic lives.
And what's remarkable is that he's not asking us to renounce the world or become hermits to embrace these ideas. He's showing us how to integrate them into our everyday experiences in the midst of our busy schedules and commitments.
Like mindfulness for the modern world.
Exactly. And it's something we all need now more than ever. We're bombarded with information demands and distractions.
It's true.
But Ajmal reminds us that the ability to pause, breathe, and connect with the present moment is a skill we can develop.
It's like building a mental muscle, right?
That's a great way to put it.
And the more we use it, the stronger it gets.
It's not about achieving some perfect state of constant presence. That's not realistic. There will be times when we get caught up in worries, anxieties, or just the busyness of life.
So it's more about recognizing when we've drifted away from the present moment and gently guiding our attention back.
Exactly. It's about cultivating self-compassion. We don't berate ourselves for getting distracted. We simply acknowledge it and gently redirect our focus. It's an ongoing practice, not a destination we arrive at.
It's like we're learning a new dance. And sometimes we step on our own toes. But we don't give up on the dance. We just keep practicing.
And that's the beauty of it. It's a journey of self-discovery. Each time we bring our attention back to the present moment, we're deepening our awareness of ourselves and the world around us.
So it's not just about being present for the sake of being present. It's about what that presence allows us to see and experience.
Exactly. And I think that's at the heart of Ajmal's message. It's an invitation to embrace the present moment with all its imperfections and uncertainties, and to find the beauty and wonder in the ordinary, the sacred in the everyday.
It's about recognizing that life is happening right now, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but in this very breath, in this very heartbeat. It's a powerful reminder to slow down, pay attention, and savor the richness of experience that's available to us in each and every moment.
And to honor the journey. With all its twists and turns, joys and sorrows. It's about living a life that's fully engaged, fully present, and fully alive.
And if Ajmal's insights have resonated with you, we encourage you to visit his website, theborderofamind.com. You'll find a wealth of thought-provoking pieces that will challenge and inspire you on your own journey of self-discovery and present moment awareness.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration of Ajmal's work.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope it sparked some new insights and inspired you to embrace the power of the present moment.
Until next time, be well and be present.
Yeah.
Remember, life is a series of moments, and the only one we truly have is this one. So breathe deeply, savor the experience, and make it count.